Tools is brought to you by EXO Auto Works. EXO Auto Works is Colorado Springs' home of the $40 synthetic blend oil change. Call now, 719-375-3232, or visit exoautoworks.com to make your appointment. Enharmonic Studios. Enharmonic Studios is a hybrid digital analog facility designed to be quality and affordable to anyone who wants to make history. Call today, 719-963-2020, or go to facebook.com/Enharmonic Studios. Trevor's Beard is brought to you by The Beard Struggle. The Beard Struggle is my go-to for beard hygiene and styling products, so you should click the link below and use the code TLANE15, that's TLANE15, for 15% off your order. The Toolbar, our new line of handmade soap produced in partnership with Crafts by Carolyn Lane, available on Etsy. This soap packs a punch of manly scent, like oak and fig, fresh cut lumber, cedar, and more masculine fragrances being developed all the time. With a soft touch of natural oils to cleanse and moisturize, use the link below to buy the Toolbar now. Once you try it, you'll never want to wash with anything else.
Christmas as well. Merry Christmas, and let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
From EXO Auto Works. Streaming all over the world. It's your weekly dose of toxic masculinity. With Eric Madrid and Trevor Lane. It's Man Tools.
All right. How's everybody doing? Welcome to Man Tools. I am Trevor Lane. You'll notice Eric Madrid is not here. And I didn't put up cutout Eric because he should be here any minute. He ran into some some car trouble. So he I guess he barely got his truck home, and now he's gonna bring the work van. So hopefully he joins us very, very soon. But in the meantime, we'll hang out, we'll have some fun. We have some guests, so it won't just be me shouting to the internet like other times when Eric is absent. So yeah, we'll have some fun. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. We had kind of a mixed bag for Christmas. Christmas itself was awesome. We got the girls some air rifles, which they have been enjoying immensely. And luckily we live in a place where we can just go out in the backyard and shoot those. So they've been having a lot of fun with those. And of course, it's not all about the gifts, but that was a lot of fun to see them enjoying those. We also had a good time down in Lamar with the mother-in-law. She surprisingly at the last minute decided to follow us back up to Colorado Springs, so she's continuing to hang out with us, which is cool. There's our guests. Bring them in.
Or is it just the sky?
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Hey guys. Hey.
Let me pop you up on the screen here. There we go. Welcome to the show, Steve and Joey. I hope I'm getting the names correct. That's what I recall from the email.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm Steven. This is Joey.
Yep. Awesome. From the B3f Podcast, which everybody should definitely check out. I listened to your Christmas episode, and I popped in for just a second on your live stream earlier, and it was a pisser.
We tried.
That's what I was going to say. We tried.
Well, welcome to the show, fellas. my co-host is running a little behind, but he should be joining us at some point. And in the meantime, we'll just hang out and bullshit and have some fun.
Yeah, for sure.
And ring out the old year with the champagne of beers.
We went through a bottle of champagne on our the show previously. We're going with some Tully.
Tullamore too.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
So, just for the sake of our audience who may not be familiar with you guys, tell us a little bit about yourself and your podcast.
Well, we've been the whole, I guess, crux of it. We've been friends for, goddamn, a little over 20 years now. I don't know how much over 20 years.
Since we were 16, so about 25 years, getting close to 25 years.
Yeah. And then so we started the show kind of based on just us getting a chance to hang out more.
Yep.
An easy sell for the wives. And it's kind of grown a hell of a lot more than we thought it would.
Yes.
And we're like a little two and a half years in.
Yeah. It was two years of podcasting in August.
Yep.
So just recorded episode 126 tonight
for our New Year's.
Yeah, we release weekly, and that's it without fail. We're very proud of that.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, we're Eric and I have known each other for we were like 14. Started working at a scout camp together. So, yeah, similar kind of thing. We've known each other for at least 20 years. I think it's a little more than that now. Eric actually wrote a book called Man Tools. And then before we got a chance to like publish it, the laptop that had it died.
Oh man, that's terrible.
But we went ahead and rolled with the name and started doing this initially as an internet radio show, if you remember those, and then turned it into a podcast. So
nice. Yeah, ours kind of kicked off just out of because we lived in separate places, states. I was a coastie and lived all over for a long time, and we did the normal, like our friendship was texting once every little bit, and that was about it. And then ended up kind of in the same city and kind of kicked us off. But the kind of unplanned how long I planned on basically quitting after a couple of months. And somehow this has kept going.
Right.
Well, I think you brought at least one follower over to the stream. Trevor Jackson wants to know.
That's what I was going to say. I bet it's Trevor.
What is a man tool? And he also made a comment because we had a pre-roll ad that says Trevor's beard, speaking about me, is brought to you by the Beard Struggle. And he goes, I don't have a beard. And I'm like, well, I do.
Yeah, he's been commenting on our show that you're not the real Trevor. He's the real Trevor. So.
I don't know about that.
What's up, Trevor? Thanks for jumping over and tuning in to us here with the Man Tools guys.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, we appreciate it.
Which thanks for having us on, by the way, man. We've been looking forward to it.
Yeah, so have we. I'm glad we could work it out because we had a little scheduling thing where I'm like, oh shit, I'm out of town that week.
Right.
So unlike you, we do not have the feather in our cap that we have done an episode every week without fail.
It's not for my lack of trying.
Yeah.
Joey's
right.
I took a few weeks off not long ago because of kids and shit like that, and he just brought on guest hosts.
Yeah.
Which I was kind of hoping he would decide to replace me, but he hasn't. So.
Who says I haven't? Yeah, I'm waiting for your birthday in a couple months to go, hey, happy birthday.
That'd be the best birthday present
I know it would.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for hanging out, fellas.
Yeah. So our show started as just like we would pick a topic and kind of just focus on that when we would record, and we started out doing about 45 minutes to an hour, and after a few weeks or months we felt rushed, and so we kind of got a little bit longer and a little bit longer. Now we consistently do about 2 hours ish.
Yeah. Well, basically though, if you cut down all of my derailing of conversations, it would be a 45-minute podcast.
But and I can't remember. Is this a censor? Do we need to dial back our language?
Nope. Nope. We've already had one YouTube channel nuked.
So we are not concerned with. I mean,
they had an episode. And I have never heard the term, but they came up with for a group of Karens is a cunt of Karens and I thought that was fucking fantastic. Yeah,
I like that. That's pretty good.
And that was my in for saying cunt on somebody else's show for a change.
That was one of my finer moments. I'll absolutely take credit for that.
It was good.
Yeah, after a little while, we quit going with singular topics and just started kind of talking about whatever had happened during the week, whatever dumbass we'd run across during the week, and we'd share how someone pissed us off or whatever. And then it just, as listeners grew, we brought on guest hosts. I mean, not guest hosts, but guests in and kind of went from there.
But we're still not cool enough to have sponsors like these guys are.
No, that's true. We can't seem to get sponsors.
I feel like sometimes I need to flex my veteran status a little bit more to see what I can get out of it.
Yeah. It hasn't gotten us a whole. Well, I shouldn't say that. I actually went on one of the local radio stations a couple of months back as their veteran of the week and got to pump us up a little bit. So, nice. I suppose it has got me something besides arthritis and a terrible nicotine addiction.
We have a good friend of ours that's come on our show a couple of times. His name's CQ. That's what he goes by, Pop Culture Warrior, and he's
Michael Carrasquillo.
Mark, but he's a Army vet, Purple Heart, and all that shit. A really, really great dude. But I love it. It's not even a bad thing, but he, because of that, says he's done well for himself with guests.
For sure.
Because he's given me some advice on stuff. But he's a great dude, and honestly, really talented guy as far as a podcast host. If anybody likes pop culture, movies, comic book, nerd shit, like he's all about it. He's a great dude. But he was messaging me. He was like, "Man, you need to lean a little more on the veteran status." I was like, "I hate doing that shit, man."
Unless it's a speeding ticket, right?
Unless it's a speeding ticket. Goddamn right.
Well, I've dabbled in stand-up, although I don't do it very often now. But what I used to do, and I always got a kick out of it. We live in a military town. Colorado Springs has like 6 military bases, so I would every once in a while something funny about the military would come up, and I'd write a joke about it. And I always would start, if I had a little bit about the military, saying, I spent 6 years in the Army, and I wouldn't really wait for any kind of a pause, and then I'd go, "So you're welcome for my service."
Well, see, I was a coastie for just shy of 9, and people give me shit. They're like, "Oh, fucking coastie. That's like the bastard child of the military."
Yeah.
Well, I think this is probably pretty close to true. There's only 2 branches of the military. Yeah. The Army and the Navy, because the Air Force is a corporation and the Marine Corps is a cult. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That sounds like every Marine I've ever met. Yes.
Yeah. 100%. But I've still yet to meet a Marine. And obviously we give each other shit. Every branch of service talks shit about every other branch of service. But at the end of the day, it's all fine. But I will say I've never met a Marine I wouldn't go toe to toe with some gloves on.
All right.
Never.
All right, fellas. Sure. If you could just chat for a bit. Eric is here, but he forgot his keys, so I have to run downstairs and let him in.
All right. Hey, you're watching Man Tools, and we're your hosts for the next little bit, Joey and Steven.
Yeah, I think we're going to win an award for this next year.
We're going to nominate ourselves for an award
for hosting another show. I know. So I don't know how many people are watching this. I know we got one of our supporters and friends of our show, Trevor, watching.
One.
Yeah, we can't see any comments that may be coming up or going through, but we appreciate you guys having us on. We're glad to be on the show, and buckle up. If this is anything like the last couple of guest spots we've done, it's gonna be fun. We've already got cunt's already been said once, and
the Marines.
Good time. Hey, we appreciate you guys being on our show. We're live with
They took over.
The ratings just went up 50 points.
Thanks for having us on the B3f Podcast. We really appreciate it.
We're a pleasure to be here with you guys on your show.
Which speaking of which, we do need to get some dates for you guys coming up after the new year.
Sure, absolutely.
Mean, Trevor's married and I'm seeing someone, but I mean, dates would be great.
Are they the same person?
Well, as long as he doesn't find out about her, I guess.
Are everything okay with us video wise? Everything look good
to
you guys?
Absolutely. It does.
Cool.
And no one's screaming in the chat, so I'm guessing it's all right to them too.
We look good to ourselves. We just make it.
Hell yeah! So this is my co-host Eric. Eric, this is Steve and Joey from.
Sorry, fellas.
B3f.
All right. We forgave you before.
I mean, so here's what happens, and this is a very manly thing that happens: is you pay your vehicle off, your loan, and the very next month, fucking thing blows up.
Oh Jesus!
Oh yeah, it threw 8 codes. I plugged it in. 8 codes.
Jesus. That actually just happened to me earlier this year. I had the most manly of cars, a fucking Prius.
Yeah.
That I proudly suck start every morning. Was just about paid off, and that motherfucker blew the engine like right before I got it paid off. And I had
did
to
your
buy a new
boyfriend
car.
have to go out there and show you how to do it every time? Or what?
No, I got really good
okay.
at it. I got really good at it. But yeah.
This is just the first 6 months of the loan. It's like my granddad said that shit to me when I was a kid, and I didn't believe him. He's like, every car, and sure enough, the Pathfinder did it, the Jeep did it, this truck did it.
I'm sorry, man.
It's just nutty. You work hard because you work super hard because you're gonna get ahead, right? That's not how it works.
No.
So I'll tell you the key to dealing with this is work for an automotive company. And then you don't have to do that. I drive a new car every 8 to 10 months, and I never have to deal with this. Hashtag humble blessed. So, that's just,
That's good stuff.
I, on the other hand, I never reap the benefits of that.
No, you never do. Well, we're not related.
Yeah.
Well, luckily,
fuck buddies don't count.
Luckily, we have a sponsor that fixes cars.
I know. Cone, if you're watching, you'll
making an appointment soon.
Some point this weekend, whenever I get a free moment, because you heard about all those fires up north, right?
Yeah.
I already had.
So you guys were saying you're out of Colorado Springs. I lived in Larkspur when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
For a little while.
Bougie.
Yeah, but well, that was before. I don't know if we lived out in the middle of fucking nowhere in Larkspur. I don't remember much of it. I was like 6, but
Well, you could walk to the Renaissance Fair.
That's my link. That's my link to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's the only trailer park I know that has an airport.
See, I don't remember any of that shit. I just remember like we lived way out in the boonies, and we went to Castle Rock sometimes to do whatever. Yeah.
My friends, they've flown in or whatever. We'll be cruising down from Denver to get back to Springs. Then they see a small jet or a prop plane like creeping down I-25 right over your head, and they like freak out. I'm like, no, don't worry. There's a airport right off the highway.
No idea. My dad worked for, I think, was the Martin Marietta at the time, the aerospace guys. But yeah, Colorado Springs. Anyway.
So you guys are out in Knoxville, right?
In connections to the show, I flew into Denver recently. So
look at that!
Oh well,
fucking Illuminati.
Wow, all them tunnels. Did you hang out with the gargoyle?
No. Denver Airport shaped like a penis, so that's why.
I don't know what penises you've been looking at, but Denver Airport doesn't look like a penis.
Oh, you're not looking at the right spot.
I was gonna say he's looking at one of them Klingon penises because of all them tents.
No, there's a YouTube video somewhere out there where some Christian guy is talking about how satanic the Denver airport is and all the phallic shapes.
Oh boy,
it's like
okay.
it's great.
You got to watch the Jesse Ventura show.
Yeah,
what was his show called on? Whatever network that was on back when he was doing his conspiracy theory show, and there's a whole episode on how
I think it was called Tin Hat.
It should have been, but there's a whole episode on how DIA has all this Illuminati symbols and stuff, and the one that cracked me up because I've spent some time there is that there's supposedly a tunnel that connects it directly to Cheyenne Mountain, where NORAD is, so that like the president can just land and then be taken by like a subway through there.
Well, then why do they hem up our traffic every time he shows up here?
Well, that's number one. Number two is, trust me, there's nothing to see at Cheyenne Mountain. It's about the most boring. It's a hole in a mountain. That's it. That's all that's there.
Yeah. My ex-wife is a Jeppesen.
Okay.
So all of that she just like her family, her great uncle or whatever was the dude who did the Jeppesen maps.
Oh, nice.
So the Jeppesen terminals, all that crap. So yeah, I Christmas time and family gatherings. Back in the get to hear all the stories. Yeah.
So we were talking about before the show, and I was unclear, and I didn't dig in too much. Are you guys both vets, both prior military, or just one?
No, I'm a coward.
Just me.
That's
yeah. So don't thank him for his service.
You and Joey have something.
Yeah.
I was almost a Marine Corps guy.
Almost. That's right. I forgot.
Almost. If the if the recruiter hadn't been such an asshole, I would have joined. It was, yeah.
Marines have trouble with that, and you would think they would at least try to fix that for the recruiters.
So I did delayed entry, and I did everything early that I needed to do, and then I got an opportunity to travel for 2 weeks and go to Guatemala and do some actual good for the world, and asked to change. I asked the recruiter if I could just bump boot camp back 2 weeks, and he was sitting in my great-grandmother's. My mother took care of my great-grandmother. He sat in her kitchen and flew off the handle about it, and
you were committed.
Yeah, that's along those lines. And he said, "Well, if you can't go now, then we don't need you." And I said, "Well, I guess you don't need me." That was the end of it. Wow.
Yeah, when I went to MEPS, which is when you sign up, that's where they take you to, they give you shots, they stick their finger in your butt and all that shit.
Yeah, I went through all of that.
Well, the way they do it here is Denver handles like the whole state. So I got to ship out, I rode a bus, of course, to sign up for the delayed entry program and pick my job and all that. The recruiter drove me. So you could already see a change in how you're being treated. They're like, well, now that you're on your way and you filled my quota, here's a bus ticket. And they put you up in a hotel room the night before because you have to start the day at like 3:00 in the morning to get everything done. And my roommate was going to be a Marine. And I'm like, so you're going to be a Marine, huh? He's like, yep. I'm like, so what, I know you guys don't get like guaranteed jobs, but what job do you think you want to go for? And he's like, I'm going to be a Marine. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Single-minded in his pursuit.
Are you looking at like college money or any of that stuff? He's like, I'm going to be a Marine. And I'm like, all right. Good talk.
I wish I were that focused and had a life plan at that age, He
was going to be a Marine?
You'll be a Marine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, my oldest, because my stepson, after some nudging in different directions, but he decided to enlist in the Navy earlier this year, and he's in delayed entry. He ships off as soon as he graduates this year. But it's going to be good. It'll be a whole new fucking world. But I guess the recruiters nowadays are much nicer, and they've been encouraged, like, oh, we're going to get you ready for boot camp. It's going to be great. And I'm like, oh, motherfucker! As soon as you step off that bus, you're fucked.
Nope.
But
nope.
I don't know. It
is the Navy.
Yeah, but still.
Well, I don't know. I know it's changed a lot. Like, I guess now, like the Army, which is where I came from, they not only get to keep their phones, but they're actually encouraged to make social media posts because they think that they think that'll be a useful recruiting tool
from their safe spaces.
Jesus.
They're like, take a selfie with the drill sergeant. It's like, what?
What?
I mean, when I went through, it wasn't like nearly as hardcore as it was, like 20 years ago or whatever. But I mean, it still wasn't a walk in the park, and they're getting kicking sand in your face and shit in the beach and all that stuff. But still, like fucking, I couldn't imagine having a cell phone in boot camp.
Nope.
Jesus.
Nope.
Well, that way, if you get captured when you're actually in combat, there's at least a digital trail of where you fit. So.
Little hashtag POW.
Yeah.
Hashtag
You're
MIA.
like, I'm here with my new friends there. Durka Durka.
So, if you don't mind, Matt, me asking you guys a question, like, I know that you mentioned a little bit that you guys kind of had a book and then the laptop died and the podcast kind of kicked it off. But what was the origin of that? Like, what was the catalyst that set off what you guys are doing? I mean, I know kind of for reading about you guys and listening a little bit what your general point is, but I just kind of wonder how that ball got rolling.
I mean, we have completely devolved now into dick and fart jokes, but
yes.
In its inception, it was a laudable thing for us. It was this thing that I'd written this. It was a book. It was more like a field manual than a book per se, right? And my mom, raising 3 boys, God bless her, had to find all these things for us, to do. And like I've talked to Trevor, that's how we met. We were very fortunate to have the Boy Scouts in my community, and they are nothing like what it is now, which is basically nothing, right? It was a men's organization, and I was very fortunate to have all these really good dudes that were like, the shop teacher, the guy who owned Maytag, the Maytag guy, the Mayflower mover guy, and they had sons my age, and they all wanted to go camping and hiking and shooting guns and blowing shit up. So I had really cool male. I knew I had my man tools from other places, not my mom. And I was giving lessons to this guitar lessons many years later to this young kid, and he lived with his mom, his aunt, his sister, his 2 girl cousins, and the dog was also a bitch. So
sea of estrogen.
He just was wading through an ocean of estrogen, and he's coming to me for guitar lessons. My buddy Josh and I are in the garage helping him fix his guitar, and I said, "Hand me a Phillips screwdriver," and he looked at me like I was crazy. My buddy Josh is like, "Dude, you need some man tools."
Yeah.
Ding! So it became this thing. It was basically a field manual. It was a little book. It was a Man Tools, a self-help guide for single moms raising boys.
Nice. Okay.
And then we did that we basically kind of went through chapters there on the radio for a couple of years, and just doing the Man Tools. And we had another co-host with us at one point, Mikey. He was also an inspiration because he's kind of an idiot, or was, And
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, totally vouch. He was the comedic relief on this show. But where was I? He had a bunch of comedy bits, and we created the Man Tools rules for the Man Tools rules tools bag. Okay. So he'd come on as a little bit on the radio show and talk about a Man Tools rule, which I think at some point in this next year we're going to recreate. And we've
got a list on the website.
We've got a list of the Man Tools rules.
And the joke is that they're not in any kind of order. Because people will be like, wait, you jump from like 4 to 15. And we're like, yeah.
We haven't found the others yet. Right. Haven't found them. We're still living. We're still growing. We're still trying to figure out what we want to do when we grow up. And we're trying to be better men. And there's gaps.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's actually a pretty sweet idea, actually. So my wife now, so my oldest, the one that just enlisted, he's 18. It's my stepson. He's fucking my oldest kid as far as I'm concerned. But before I met him, like, his dad is pretty much a piece of shit and hasn't been in the picture until like this year. And all of a sudden he's like, "Oh, you're 18 now. We can be friends because I don't
have to pay your mom anything." So
hey.
But he was pretty much raised by his mom until I came into the picture at he was 9 or 10. And my wife did an amazing job with his character as far as him having integrity, as far as him being well behaved and respectful, but he was kind of a little bitch, type of thing. And maybe just because she didn't have that skill set as his mother without a father to raise him. But like I said, great kid, just didn't have that influence. And after I've come, like, he's come a long fucking way. Not that I'm like the creme de la creme of a father figure, but like, she used to be like, "Well, why do you aggravate the shit out of all the time? Why do you do this?" It's like, because it's gonna teach him how to laugh at himself, how to be resilient. Like, there's certain things that you do as a dude that's going to teach him to be a better man as he gets older. And it's been a big, and she's told me more than once that it's been, night and day from the time he was little to now. And again, not that I've done all this shit, but it reflects how important having some masculine influence is on a kid, to teach them how, like I said, some of those skills, whether it be what a Phillips fucking screwdriver is, or how not to fucking cry when somebody gives you some shit about something,
right?
Or how to fire
words. Feelings aren't real, and words are not sharp. So,
well, we've had a conversation more than once. It's like, dude, it's okay. Like, feelings, you have feelings, but you deal with that shit in the proper time. Like when it's time to go and deal with shit, you do what you got to do. That's part of being a man. And there's nothing wrong with dealing with emotion, but you do that shit after you've taken care of your priorities, right? Like there's a separation, like some of those types of things. And I think that's a skill set a lot of people don't have. Like, feelings are the most important, and then like taking care of your shit is secondary to how you're feeling in the moment. And I don't.
Well, I think what you're trying to say is you're letting your feelings dictate your actions to the moment, and that's not the way to do it in any situation. Also, with your son, in that case, he didn't have anything to test his mettle with. Right. I mean, I'm sure that, he's 18 now, 9, so 10 years ago, there was, the schools, that paradigm shift happened when my youngest brother was getting out of high school, where there's no fighting on the school grounds, or you go to jail, like corporal punishment for stuff, or just young bucks trying to, sharpen their antlers.
The start of the no tolerance policies.
Yeah, he was right at that paradigm shift. Yeah. No swatting, no paddling, there was no corporal punishment whatsoever in schools. Kids, you couldn't, I don't know, you couldn't wipe your ass without wearing a helmet and a bite plate. Like, it's the most bizarre thing.
I can remember growing up and had some fucking kids picking on me or whatever, because I was a little kid until I hit like my growth spurt or whatever, and came to my dad and he was like, these kids are being mean. He's like, well, what the fuck have you done about it? And I was like, well, nothing. I'm talking to you. He was like, well, he goes, fucking deal with it. He was like, if you have some issues after you've tried, then we'll do something, we'll work it out, whatever. But until you've stood up for yourself and at least tried to handle your own situation, it's not my fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like, that was a big thing for me to learn. Like, you try, do shit on your own. Like, I mean, you stand up for yourself and you face that adversity or do whatever the fuck you need to do.
Yeah, I was recently telling my kids, I don't remember how it came up, but we were talking about I think we were talking about bullies or something. And I was telling a story about how when I was in elementary school, I was, looking back, I wasn't really friends with him. I thought he was my friend, but this kid kept giving me wedgies, like tear your underwear fucking wedgies. And it was like, right. My mom's pissed off because, once a week I come home with torn underwear, and she's like, what the fuck? I didn't send you to Catholic school, so what's going on? And so my dad, I think my mom talked to the school a couple of times and nothing really happened. I kept getting wedgies, and then finally my dad was like, punch him. And I'm like, wait, what? And he's like, punch him right in the fucking face. And I'm like, my dad didn't swear. I'm adding that. My dad never swore.
Never.
But punch him in the face. And I'm like, okay. So the next time he attempted the wedgie, I popped him in the nose. He cried like a bitch and, had a bloody nose. And from then on, he left me alone. I think the school suspended me for a day, and I got to eat McDonald's because my dad was like, good job.
Why don't we have men's Hallmark movies? You know what I mean? Where
that's an important fucking lesson to learn, man.
Because men don't have time to watch them.
That's right. Well, no, it would get us out of a lot of trouble with all of these administrators and things that are women that don't understand that. It's
an interesting thing because I grew up in a time, Steve and I both did, although I was in public school almost my whole life, and I grew up in a time where you could whip the shit out of a kid for acting up, whatever. I mean, I can remember in high school, the person you didn't want to get paddled by was the assistant principal, which was a woman. But she had a wooden baseball bat shaved down flat on both sides and large holes drilled in it. And she would make you grab your ankles, stand close to the wall, and she would back up, and she would crow hop into you and then turn her hips into it and hit you so hard that you would lean forward and hit the wall. And no one wanted to be paddled by her. Now, I'm a firm believer in school that's not a bad thing for the most part. I definitely think that back then people resorted to paddling a kid when there's probably were some better options. At times there were better options, but it's one thing that differs between me and Steven is if I could go back and raise my kids again, there would be a lot less of the paddling or whipping of my children, just because I have a wife that's a behavior analyst and worked in schools, and I've seen the other side of that. And what I know, whatever. I don't give a shit. I've seen the other side that does work and is more effective than the other. As far as at home, there would be less of the spanking of the kids or whatever. I'm a firm believer now. What didn't used to be a firm believer now that unless the kids are doing something that's going to hurt themselves or others, there's probably a better option. But I think in school, that's a different topic. When it comes to what happens in school, I'm still.
It's a different. I'm just going to say it is a completely different world in which we live now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It is a completely different world in the last 30 years. It is completely different. I mean, let's just face it. How many kids actually got paddled a year at school?
Yeah. Oh yeah,
one. I was one of them, 8th grade. I don't remember anybody else except the dude who got paddled next to me.
A lot of people getting paddled when I was in school.
I just remember it was the ultimate deterrent. It was basically the Cold War of the administration versus the students. It was like
it really wasn't for us. We didn't want to be paddled by the assistant principal, but everyone else, no one really cared about, which I was a relatively good kid in school anyway, so I didn't have to deal with that very often. But
see, my sister's currently a teacher in the school system, and she said it's fucking terrible. She can't discipline. They can't do anything to the kids, and they'll just sit and they'll be on their phones, or they'll fucking yell back, tell them to go fuck themselves, whatever the case may be, and they can't do a damn thing about it, and the parents are just as bad as far as encouraging the behavior.
Exactly.
Not what they're doing in the school system. The problem is the parents nowadays.
Well, the other thing with the
problem is because your sister's in a small town. And
see, I always just got held down and jerked off when I was
right, because you were homeschooled.
Yeah, I was homeschooled. I get it. So
that's a whole porn episode I don't really want to see right now.
Oh, trust me, you do want to see that. But that's the thing about a small town, because we both grew up. I don't know if you consider yourself growing up in a small town. You were homeschooled though, but I grew up in a small town. In small town public schools.
Yeah, how many traffic lights?
You could probably count them on 2 hands.
Well, I will say the biggest thing that happened in the town, or at least in where I grew up, was a turning lane and a super Walmart, and it hasn't changed much since then.
Yes.
Wow, you guys had a Walmart?
We had a small Walmart until '99, and then we got a super Walmart.
I feel like we're dick showing now. Dick measuring the small
we
towns.
We are.
It's like, oh, my small town was smaller than your small town.
Mine had a radio ad that said we're at what did it used to say? It said the Ace Hardware, 1 block from the street light in downtown Alamosa. It's I'll say this though, growing up in a small town has afforded us a whole lot of opportunities for masculine exploration, and we got to go out and do other things that most of the city kids never got to do.
Right.
Sure.
There's so much skiing, snowboarding, mountaineering sports, all that stuff that I got to grow up with down here in a little mountain town. That survival stuff.
We had football.
That's it. That's basically it. Football.
Well, that was church. I get it. But we were like a 3A school, so it was football. All of our sports were a joke.
We had football and we had Jesus. Those were the two. Church and football. That was it.
In that order: football, then Jesus.
Yeah. I think they were probably tied because
in public school,
because Jesus directly blessed the football team.
Oh,
whether you won or lost, was the blessing of the Lord upon your life.
It was, yeah, absolutely.
We had Mormons, football, and then Jesus. And Jesus usually were the guys that were mowing lawns and doing concrete in our little town.
Did you guys grow up religious backgrounds?
Yes.
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
How religious?
Every Sunday, my mom would send me to the little Sunday school thing, and this was before cell phones, so I would literally hide in the toilet and read guitar magazines in the gym.
What denomination?
It was rigorous. What was it? Sangre Cristo Catholic. So it was like the
Catholic. Okay.
Yeah, but it was the Mexican Catholic.
Oh.
So there were Mexicans, Mormons, and me in my hometown, and that was it.
There's less finger blasting.
For sure.
Sect, yeah.
Mm-hmm. You got to watch out for the priests.
Yeah.
No, we grew up pretty evangelical,
Pentecostal,
yeah, Christian.
I'm talking about
we're Protestant,
praying in tongues, laying hands on people, all that crazy
running
bullshit.
around the sanctuary.
Oh, jeez. No, it was an hour and a half of stand, kneel, sit, stand, kneel, get some cookies, drink some wine, kneel, sit, stand, you're out.
So kind of like a Baptist church for us.
Yeah, I was raised Lutheran, and I vividly remember this was a clear
rebel.
A clear lack of I don't know, communication, whatever you want to call it, between my parents. But my mom always said, once you're confirmed, you never have to go to church again if you don't want to. But you're gonna go every Sunday until you get to that point where you're confirmed. So I got confirmed, and the next Sunday I'm like, awesome. Don't set an alarm. My dad wakes me up at 6:30. He's like, you got church at 8. I'm like, no, Mom said. He's like, I don't. You live in my house. You go to church. And I'm like, what? No, but mom said, and that didn't even work. A lot of times that did work, right? But that time he was
put
like,
a list
no.
of he didn't put a list of things on your door.
No,
okay.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. It didn't really affect me that much, other than, I don't know. I think more of the point, like I grew up sort of in the Mormon church, which is bizarre because they hosted the Boy Scouts and they were the affluent demographic in our little hometown. So it was like, well, you got to go there on Wednesdays.
They were the other white people.
Yeah. And then, and I was fortunate that they were not as evangelical, I guess, if we're going to use the word right.
Well, they're almost like if you don't join up, they don't want anything to do with it.
Right, and then they were like, we don't care. We got extra people to go with us on this camping trip, and we can get extra funds from the church to go camping and hiking and goofing off. Because those dudes just didn't want to sit at home.
Yeah,
they wanted to go do stuff. So
yeah.
How'd we start this with a book? We did. Good tangents, boys. Good tangents. Love it.
Steven's always good for tangents.
If nothing else, that is my. I pride myself in the ability to derail any conversation into just worthlessness somewhere in the ether.
It's perfect. I dig it.
Just wait till he gets a bag of dicks in his mouth.
Do we have one around here?
I don't know where.
Don't worry, he's got plenty.
That's all right. Well, let's see. We're gonna check in with the chat thread because we've ignored all of our both of our listeners. What's up, Keys? Sacramento checking in. Our homies from the SAC. Looks like Trevor Jackson.
That's one of our
guys. Nice. All right. We'll get that book to you on Audible, and possibly. Well, maybe
we got to rebuild it.
You kind of have to rebuild it. There's a laptop. That was a fun day.
And
other than being a vegan, Trevor's a really good dude.
Oh, sorry, Trevor. You're gonna have to pay for it now. I mean, I have one prejudice, just one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just one. Like I don't care if you're black, white, purple, orange, brown, Lutheran, Catholic, whatever. I don't care if you're a superhero or you're Zod. It doesn't matter. When you're like, I'm vegan, I'm like, oh man, you are not gonna like anything we're gonna go do.
Because Trevor's the one vegan that I've ever met that doesn't put it in your face.
Well, there you go. Does he do CrossFit?
That's the thing. I don't think so. But
we did have a buddy of ours that came on. Weirdly enough, we like him, but he's a vegan. And he does CrossFit.
I didn't realize he was vegan.
And he's a vet. On top of all that, he's a fucking anomaly of a douchebag of a human.
He's a great guy too. Yeah.
Now, see, I thought vegans and CrossFit were mutually exclusive because doesn't CrossFit really hound on going paleo and keto?
Oh, it's all plant-based protein, bro.
Oh, well,
yeah, dude, you're supposed to have Lululemons every meal. I've heard.
But he does look goddamn good in some yoga pants.
He is a good-looking man. He is a good-looking dude.
Actually, he looks like Ted Bundy. A lot like Ted Bundy.
Actually, now that you've said that, a little bit, yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, guys, sorry. Continue
That's all right.
with your show.
Was it?
Oh,
Well,
no,
I was going to say, is that Ted Bundy back in his Polk High School?
Yeah. Right?
Dude, that
Dealer's
dude,
choice, man.
That's Al Bundy.
Let's see.
Oh, Ted.
That's Al Bundy, Trevor.
Ted Bundy.
Not Ted
Al
Bundy.
Bundy. Jesus. Sorry, I got my Bundys.
Peggy could get it.
My Bundys confused.
Al.
For sure. Yeah.
That was funny. I'm like,
Zac Efron, Ted Bundy. That's who you're talking about, right?
Right.
Gotcha.
There you go.
I got you.
there it is.
The Ted Bundy. Yeah. I'd
know.
let him kill me.
Yeah.
Well,
That's good stuff.
eat my dick any day.
I'd let him do the rape before the murder.
We've been drinking since 7 p.m. Eastern, so
Yeah.
we're pretty good right now.
Excellent.
Well,
Which I guess is what, 5 p.m. for you guys.
I feel like we've been like just rambling incessantly though, and I feel like they have a show and probably some
know.
type of
no.
agenda on
We
this.
No,
well, I
it's
tell you what, we can get into some news stories, and we can all chime in with our opinions on some stuff if you want.
All right.
So you guys won't be able to hear the audio in this, but it's going to play a little stinger, and then we'll get into the news. So
Okay.
we'll do it. All right. So up first, we have from the New York Post here. A jealous woman makes her boyfriend FaceTime her for his entire 12-hour shift. Looks like he's at like an Amazon fulfillment center.
Yep. Yep.
I'm sorry, I can see the comments on your page, and I see Trevor said, "Do y'all know what a twat is?" I'm so sorry for interrupting your news segment. Oh my God, he's never commented something like that for us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
We broke your fan.
Well,
Oh my God.
We broke him.
I'm jealous. He never says shit like that to us.
we do now. This guy's clearly a twat.
This guy
or his girl
So
is. Anyways.
Trevor, this is your twat of the week over here, bud.
Yeah.
So over at Amazon, this is I forget where this ended up being, but this is December 22nd. All right, there's a woman. This woman has been called insane on social media,
Rightly so,
for reportedly forcing her boyfriend to FaceTime her for his duration of his 12-hour shift at the Amazon warehouse.
Oh Jesus.
Her reason? Wait for it. Pause for dramatic crazy. She apparently doesn't trust other women. She trusts him just fine. I trust you, honey. I just don't trust the other girls there.
Huh.
So
Does she work there as well?
no, I'm glad you asked. Hey, glad you asked. This woman, who we'll call Crazy B, allegedly hails from Fresno, California, wrote, "My boyfriend needs to FaceTime me his whole 12-hour shift, not because I don't trust him, but because I don't trust other females." Her boyfriend identified, and they identify his dumbass, Jose Macarena, by the Daily Mail, is seen in these pictures packaging products in a warehouse with her doing the FaceTime call. She is considering quitting her job and just go working with him to save time and bandwidth, apparently.
I'm hung up on the word force. They don't work together. There's no one forcing anyone to do anything.
That's
No.
Mm-hmm.
I've been married 22 years. My wife couldn't force me to FaceTime her my entire shift.
It depends on the relationship, man.
This is not a relationship. This is a hostage situation.
Exactly. Let me just say, I'm a piece of shit, and I went through a phase when I was unmedicated bipolar disorder. Not that that's I'm giving no reason, not an excuse. That I fucked many other people than I should have. I was playing music. I was doing a lot of shit.
More than you should. How many should you have done?
None. But
okay.
still.
Were you the singer or were you the guitar player?
I was both.
Then you get to fuck all of them.
Yeah,
that's
how
the rule.
it works.
But so about tank. This is my third marriage, by the way. So go military. But
you got nothing on Corey.
Worked through it, and there is a good hunk of some of this shit I had to deal with because of trust issues. I understand that.
Yep, that I get.
It never got this bad because my wife is a rational human being.
That's the thing.
Like, I wouldn't have stayed with me. I'm a piece of shit.
I still stand on. She's not forcing him to do anything.
Yeah,
he's choosing to do it and stay in a relationship with her.
That's some crazy bullshit.
That's got to be some bomb ass pussy.
Yeah, this is a case of he's a bitch.
Yeah, 100%.
Or they both are.
Well, I mean, they're made for each other. They can have each other.
Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting. I would like to have the link to that news story.
Oh, I could send it to you for sure.
Yes, please.
Let's see.
But yes, anybody that's that pussy whipped, and I hesitate to use that term these days, because like you said, we live in a different day and age. Relationships have changed a lot for good or bad from when we were.
Yeah, but I would feel the same way if the tables were turned and he was doing. He was requesting the same thing.
But I'm saying the person that's falling in line and willing to FaceTime for however fucking long.
Right.
He's a fucking little bitch that won't just be like, no, fuck you. I'll text you on my breaks. We'll check in, whatever.
Right.
For your whole shift, nah, fuck that.
No. Well, one of your neighbors, Rand Paul. Just released for those that don't know, he does this every year. If you ever watch Seinfeld and are familiar with Festivus,
holiday for the rest of us.
there's a portion of the celebration of Festivus is to air grievances. So Rand Paul every year does this big Festivus report where he airs the grievances about the waste that the government.
I'm fine with him airing grievances. I'd like to see him hold up in the feats of strength.
Yeah. Well, this year he accounted for $52 billion in government waste, which I'm sure he could have gone on and got much more than that. But we're just going to hit some, let's hit some highlights here. So let's see. We got COVID spending detailed in his report included $4.29 billion in loans that went to people who did not qualify to receive them under the Paycheck Protection Program.
Thanks, Uncle Sam.
Yeah, $36 billion in unemployment insurance that was paid improperly, with a significant portion attributable to fraud, and $1.27 million, which is just a drop in this bucket. That Baltimore City Public Schools received for students who weren't even enrolled. Let's see. Some more fun stuff. The Department of Defense gave foreign countries permission to use American aircraft free of charge, which costs approximately $773 million. In addition, the Air Force purchased $549 million worth of aircraft for the Afghan Air Force, all of which were later sold at scrap value of about 40 grand.
All of this sounds accurate to me. I don't know.
Yes,
I don't know what
does.
to think.
Yes, it does.
Paul's report also included $2.4 million for production of a film on dinosaurs intended to inspire middle schoolers. All right, I'm not sure. I think there's plenty of dinosaur shit out there for them to be inspired by. $11 million that went to instructing the people of Vietnam to stop burning their trash.
That's like oh my god.
465,000 some odd awarded in research grants to a study that investigated pigeons' gambling habits.
Pigeons gambling habits.
Yep, as a way to hopefully.
No, I have a long time. I have forever been saying that pigeons need to get their shit together.
Right? They have a hotline. It's 1-800-STOP-BIRD.
Right. Yeah. Pigeons and their
gambling habits.
And then he I think we'll finish with this. He puts, no matter how much money has already been wasted, politicians continue to demand even more.
Sure. I'm still hung up on the 500,000 dads with their flip-flops out in Vietnam going, no.
Do not burn the trash.
But it's so smoky.
No.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah. Why is anyone surprised that the government's wasting money?
I'm not surprised.
Right. I'm just saying, like, Rampon is fucking Festivus. He's not supplying us any information we didn't already know. Maybe we didn't know the details.
You give specifics.
Yeah, but
I don't know how much Trevor is into conspiracy, but I full on believe in like black ops and shadow governments.
Oh, for sure.
All that bullshit. So there's a lot more that gets funneled into other things for that type of shit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well,
Whatever.
I mean, it's all got to go somewhere, and it all has to come out on paper somewhere else. I do my own taxes. I understand how this works.
Right.
I have a lot of new guitars last year.
Do you still actively play?
Not as much as I'd like to, but yeah, pretty much every day.
Nice.
Do you still actively play?
No, fuck no, I don't. And I wish I did. No, I have a pretty new guitar sitting in the corner of my room that I haven't touched.
Oh, that's too bad.
I've not touched it once in 6 months, and it makes me sad.
So I will get to this in a minute, but I've distressed a couple of guitars. I did the relic thing. So much fun.
Nice.
So much fun. Get to break guitars. Anyway, this one is a little awkward. I feel really bad for this human being because of her situation.
I do too.
I feel really bad. So I want to go into this knowing that we're going to make a whole lot of bad jokes, but deep in my heart, I actually feel really bad for this human.
Yes. So as the headline says, I'm 22, but stuck in the body of an 8-year-old. So only creeps want to date me.
Nice.
And you can see a picture of this poor little girl in a bikini running on the beach. I saw a video earlier where she's having margaritas with the gals.
Yeah,
and,
she's trying to get. She's sitting at the bar, and they're like, "You have to leave, little girl." And she's like, "Bitch, I'm 22."
Yeah.
Look, did I not say with a year ago or more? Did I not say where does this end? Where does this end?
I can't stop laughing.
I'm just saying. I said this a year or more ago. Like, if I said I'm 16 years old, I identify as a 16-year-old, and there's nothing you can say about it.
It's not identifying though. This is actual age.
Yeah, so she's 22.
Yeah, she has
she had a rare disease that required.
Okay, see, I completely took this as an 8-year-old.
No.
You're on the back end. This is why I'm like.
She is chronologically, she is physically 22 years old.
I'm reading the story and listening to what they're saying, and I completely took this as an 8-year-old saying, no, I'm a 22-year-old.
Why didn't you see the headline?
I did see the headline, and that's how I took
it. When did you start drinking?
It's about
5.
3.5 hours.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. You're good. So
no, he read a headline and immediately started thinking about what he was going to say next, not giving a shit about context.
No, I read the headline. I listened to what they said. I tried to skim through.
That's
exactly how I.
Okay,
that's right. So Shauna Ray developed a rare form of brain cancer when she was just 6 months old and underwent chemotherapy that radically stunted her growth. At 22 years old, she now stands at 3'10", the average height of an 8-year-old girl. The TLC documentary I Am Shauna Ray. She reveals the difficulties associated with her youthful appearance, including finding it very hard to date, going to bars or any adult activity probably, and as that everyone thinks she's a child.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This also really screws us up as dudes who walk into a bar and you're. Especially younger dudes, in their 20s. Yeah. Now with the whole ID culture, you're not gonna and consent form culture.
So my question would be then is, okay, if she looks like this, what is her criteria for someone wanting to date her?
Well, she's
right, because she's as a dude, like if you see this person, like it's such a weird thing. Like she obviously wants to find a mate and date someone. Right. I mean, that's human nature, right?
Yep.
And so, but anyone that's going to hit on her is obviously
a pedophile,
unless you get to know her for her personality immediately. Is attracted to her because of her fucking looks? Because that's, as dudes, we're visual creatures. Like the first thing we notice about any woman, I don't care how good or bad her personality is how she looks.
Can we harness this rare form of cancer?
Thank you.
Some great patriots. Some just phenomenal patriots that are willing to take one for the team, so that we can get these maps out of the schoolyard.
Jesus Christ.
And in case you didn't know, MAPS is the new term for pedophiles.
Yeah, no.
I like pedos way better.
Well, no, the new term is MAPS, which stands for minor attracted persons.
Okay.
They're trying to get into the LGBTQ community.
Probably.
Yeah. No, they definitely.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
And regardless, like that's my thing is like, what is her standard for men wanting to date her?
Well, this is the problem she's running into, is that every dude that she's
interested in, it looks at her like it's their little sister.
Well, yeah, right. and the ones that look at her with any kind of attraction
is what you were
are
talking about.
pedophiles.
Yeah.
And they're
it's every guy that says, "Hey, I lost my puppy. Can you come?"
Well,
that's their pickup line with her. Like, "Hey, you want some candy?"
And from what I understand, the thing
you're
that's
only gonna get a certain type of dude for the most part.
Yeah.
There are exceptions. Obviously, there are some dudes that are gonna be honed in on the personality, but as a whole, the only dudes that are gonna want to hit on her.
Hold on a minute. What dude do you know only hones in on personality and completely would overlook the fact that she looks like she's 8?
I'm playing the part that there's no 100% of anything.
Okay, why are you playing the part that I normally play?
Because there's got to be a small percentage of dudes that care more about
How is it that we get on another show and you immediately take a different stance?
I'm just saying.
Listen. Marriage counseling is out there. Couples counseling is there. No, here's the only logical thing I see is that it's somebody from her work. Okay. They're gonna have to deal with each other on a day-to-day basis, and hopefully eventually, you know.
Well, and the other thing she runs into though is dudes that are almost like, when they find out that she's not 8, they're like, "Oh, sick! So I can live out my fantasy of fucking an 8-year-old, but it's legal."
What I was about to say.
Which is kind of what I was saying. Is like, there's no guy that's just in that relationship strictly for the personality. Now, I didn't consider she works with someone that knows.
Or what about a family friend
known her
growing up?
All right, family friend, maybe.
Like an uncle.
That's Arrested Development.
Beat me to it.
Where, you know, they've known her since she was 8, and sweet, she still looks 8. But I just...
You're right, though. She just needs to go work for the cops, go undercover.
Yeah.
That would be a great job.
Okay, so this one I found today. I woke up to this one in the feeds.
All right,
and
so
it's 53 seconds of the most modern prostitute I've ever seen.
Yep. And there's not audio, but there is subtitles for you guys. So, like, our audience will hear it. I still haven't figured out how to.
I know. I'm just gonna stick my earpiece to the microphone.
Audio play for our guests.
We heard whatever earlier.
So. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Okay, sweet.
So check this out. Let me get it on the right. There we go.
For my bachelorette party, my maid of honor made these nice little Venmo bracelets. They had a QR code to my Venmo, so while we were out, people could buy us drinks, which was really fun.
Which already I'm going to stop. That's a total gold digger horror move. So
gold digger horror move.
We'll go on.
We also shared a link to my Venmo on our social channels. You can share links on Instagram stories. As the night progressed and after tequila, we decided to up the ante a little bit further and sent Venmo requests to men that I have dated who did things that were unacceptable.
So getting strangers to buy her drinks.
Former guys who used to bang her. That's the captain subtext.
Yeah, dated.
Dudes that used to bang me that they don't want to be around my crazy shit anymore. I'm going to make them Venmo me.
Yeah.
This man who took me to the gym and had me do bicep curls for an hour, only exacerbating my body dysmorphia. For this man who liked my Instagram post after he had unfollowed me.
Well, she does look horrid. I mean,
just awful. So. And the fake degrees in the background you get off eBay, those are amazing.
Well, you can obviously see too. She has no gains.
None. No gains. None.
Accidentally, intentionally, whatever. Just pay me. But it did work out. So, ladies, go get paid.
All right. So,
do you guys remember Sam Kinison?
Whore!
I wanted to be on her side, and then she lost me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Having the Venmo bracelets and people buying you drinks while you're out, to me, that's genius. Like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah. I'm perfectly fine with that.
It's my bachelorette party. You want to buy me a drink?
Or not, a guy at a bar will buy you drinks anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so that part, that just made it easier. Now I've seen bands do this. They'll put their Venmo shit in the bathrooms at bars. So if you want to tip them, you can just, genius. Yeah. Well, when I was on tour, there was nothing like that. So we were careful.
That whole messaging people that you had dated in the past.
That's where I was like,
that's different.
Because that's literally plain. Because you notice she didn't show any of the messages that she sent for the most part.
Right.
That she sent.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, I think it wasn't that the messages that she sent, but not the response.
I don't think so.
I thought it was.
I didn't pay that much.
I didn't either.
I don't care.
I don't consider her a gold digging whore. I just consider her a fucking cunt.
There it is.
For doing that.
Yep.
Up until that point, I was fine.
But I'm just saying, anybody that shares that type of shit is not telling the whole story ever. They're showing what they got out of it. You know what the fuck she promised or what she said for that money. Like, so I would be on the horse side of that shit. 100%.
Well, so here's what I'm guessing. For every dude that was like, yeah, all right, here's some money, there were 10 that were like, I thought I told you to fucking lose my number.
Yeah. Just how did I forget to block you? Just on the odds alone.
Well, I can tell you right now, as a younger fella, after I was a little older, but I took up a firm no buying drinks rule. Like, I am not going to pay you or invest alcohol into you to get you to hang out with me. Like, you're going to like it, or you're going to like me, or you're not going to like me. Now, if we were already drinking, I would buy a round, but I would never start with opening the drinks. So I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to win you over by the amount of booze I buy you.
Oh, dude, I had a girl come up to me in a bar one night. I was there with a coworker years ago, and she walked up between us and said, "What are you guys drinking tonight?" And we both said what we were drinking. She said, "Well, let's do a shot." And I was like, "I'm not doing shots," but she's like, "No, come on, buy a shot, and we'll do a shot together, whatever." Like, no. First off, I don't want to fuck
lounge.
Secondly, I'm not paying for a drink from you.
Now on the flip side of that, and this sounds, I will shamelessly admit that on someone else's show. I have gone to gay bars with friends of mine and drank for free all night because I shamelessly flirted with gay dudes to get free.
I have never paid for a drink at a gay bar, bro. Never once.
Never paid?
Never paid. Nope, never had. And I wasn't even conquering blocking it. I just was like there with my cousin and his husband, and we were, living in New York, and it's just, that's where we went.
Yeah, and I'm not talking about full on flirting. I'm saying, but I have no problem with doing a little smile, like, oh, thanks, I appreciate it. I've always been upfront about my orientation.
Yep.
I've never played the card like I was.
You didn't tie a cherry stem in a knot in your mouth.
No, but at the same time, I was always like, I was very nice and was like, oh, thank you, I appreciate that, but. Dude, I used to go with a friend of mine all the time because if I was broke and I couldn't afford alcohol, I would go and drink for free at the gay bar every fucking weekend. It was great.
Gold digging hole.
Absolutely. Shameless.
Yeah, but you're also the kind of guy that would date a guy if it benefited you financially.
Well,
come on.
We'll send you the Venmo cock rings.
I just discovered the use of a cock ring not long ago. They're amazing.
Wait, how did you discover the use?
Christopher Columbus.
The use has been hiding from you all these years.
I've never had a need or a desire, even a thought to try one.
Okay.
Christopher Columbus.
Christopher Columbus, the discoverer of the cock ring. So what happened was his wife got it for him off Wish and said, "Here."
I bought it for myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
All right.
Just to see.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you get the one that vibrates?
No, just a regular.
I just take the twist tie off the bags of bread.
No, here's the thing. I have never been a morning sex dude ever.
I know that about you.
Until about 11 a.m. My shit's asleep. It might be up for a couple minutes, but it's like, nah, fuck this, I'm done.
Morning sex is the best thing
since I was a young dude. Never been my thing.
Right? It's got to be 11 or 1 because shit, you can still taste the toothpaste.
No fucking way.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, when I first wake up. Fucking nothing. It's not gonna. If it does, it's very short lived. I figured out because I was like, I'm gonna try this. Fucking fantastic. If my wife wants to fuck first thing in the morning, slip that bitch on. Fucking it stays good to go.
Good for you.
I wish I would have discovered this as a younger man. That's all I'm saying.
Good for you.
All right.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Speaking of cock rings, we're going to pay some bills.
Yep.
And it's just like a minute and a half. And when we come back, we're going to get into the week in history. So we're going to continue hanging out.
It's going to be a crazy week, boys.
I think you mean the week in herstory?
No.
We don't do that. We don't do that.
We're going to continue making them regret having us on.
I know.
So we'll pay a couple bills and then we'll do the week in his story.
All right.
So on my way over here, my brakes made an awful noise. And the last time I got them done, it was so expensive.
You should go to EXO Auto Works. They did a great job on mine and it was way cheaper than anywhere else I've been.
That sounds great. I need to get their number from you.
At EXO Auto Works, we offer the best price on brake service in town. We include brand new brake pads, rotors, and hardware, which saves you money and gets you on the road faster. See our website for a full list of our services. Call EXO Auto Works today.
Stop destroying your beard. Let me explain. A little while back, I thought I was properly taking care of my beard. Turns out, I was destroying it. Dry, brittle, hair falling out. My girlfriend hated it.
He was worse than a dog without the cute puppy breath.
So then, she ordered the Beard Struggle. Game changer. Natural ingredients, awesome packaging, and it smells phenomenal.
You smell sexy.
Thank you. Oils, balms, they have beard growth accelerators in addition to the new Carbon X 3-in-1 heated beard brush straightener and volumizer, along with washes and conditioners. Stop destroying your beard. Order the Beard Struggle.
I have something you can destroy.
Order online now from thebeardstruggle.com.
Use the code TLANE15 for 15% off your order.
Perfect timing. Oh, you're fixing to shove something in my spank.
Yeah, I saw that. That shit was crazy.
God, this shit's in my spank bank right here. If you believe he was actually killed, sure.
That's Bin Laden.
Oh, I'm talking about both of them. That's true. Right. Isn't that everything?
I will say that when he said free blacks, I immediately thought of like no charge. That was the immediate thing that I thought of, which is terrible.
That sounds like something our forefathers would have said.
Yep.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm sure they weren't, and I'm sure they were put right up front.
Yeah. Yeah. Che Guevara, what a jerk.
I know. Oh, good.
Damn.
January 4th, now I have something new to celebrate on my birthday. It is my birthday.
We also have a professional wrestler these days.
Yeah, our county mayor is a professional or former professional wrestler. Yes. Yeah, it is Kane. Yes. President Macho Camacho. And no Jews are allowed to work at his factory. That's what he. Did you know that he had a daily gazette or weekly gazette or whatever that went out to all of his dealerships that lauded the terror of Jewish people being in this country?
Yes.
Right.
Oh man.
My wife's asleep, so we're good.
Yeah. That's all right. all right.
No, we're good.
B3fpodcast.com.
Yeah.
All of our shit.
Yeah. In the starting January 8th, live streams.
Back to Saturdays.
January 8th, back to Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. New audio episodes Monday mornings, and then the videos on Wednesday.
And we also have a section on our website called Tell Us What You Really Think.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
1,000% anonymous. People don't believe us, but it is. And we can review each of us individually and the show, and we welcome fucking hate mail and the worst shit you can send. We love it.
And we have merchandise on our website as well.
Yep. Thanks for having us, guys.
Thank you.